Hey guys, it's Mo with Moonjuk. Another day, time for another video. And before we get into our 3Ws, which are what? Our weekly Wednesday words, I would like to talk about the weather. And of course, it has been quite a problem for many of you, myself included. Last week, it was all about the gloomy, moody, depressing weather. The rain was pouring, the old man was snoring, and everybody was being swept down the stream. Away, away we go. This week, the only thing that remains is the humidity. The humidity still stands strong, but everything else, completely different. We are under the burning sun. The scorching weather is hitting the back of our necks every single step that we take, and we feel the sweat dripping down our cheekbones and hitting our shirts. And sort of like a twisted version of the Midas touch, everything that I seem to touch, I leave this wet, sticky stain. TMI? I don't care, because it's a problem that I hate. And of course, many of you probably are facing the same or similar situations as well. But one message to remember is this too shall pass. And today's Wednesday video with Mo, will definitely help you pass. Hopefully you are sitting in a nice air-conditioned or at least a room with a fan and watching this video. In a comfortable position, of course. Now, I would like to move to our trusty whiteboard, and these words are from this week's KWAR packet and also some articles that I'm going to cover in my Guru class. So if you're ever interested, pop by, sit down, sit under the air conditioner and have a little chit chat. But anyway, moving on to the words. So, as you can see, we have thuggish, unorthodox, and paranoid. Last but not least, we have snooze. So, beginning with thuggish. Now, what does thuggish mean? I'm sure all of you have at least encountered one of these types of people, and I'm going to give you a little anecdote. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Korean society as well. So, one day, Mo was walking down the street. He was minding his own business when all of a sudden, this gigantic fat man bumped into him on purpose. Now, I said fat, but fat is an understatement. He was morbidly obese. He was this morbidly obese man with a pretty nice shirt. He had a Gucci brand t-shirt, but the problem was that it was 2 sizes too small for him, and you could see his belly hanging out underneath the shirt. And he had his head shaved on the sides with the top of his hair gelled back in a very chic fashion, and he had on Gucci slippers. He had a nice golden bracelet and a thick golden chain hanging down his neck. And immediately, I pegged him as one of Korean society's thugs, or gangsters, or at least gangster wannabes. So, what does thug mean? Thug is a person who is a criminal, or someone who uses violence to get what he wants. Someone who is, very simply put, a bad person. Now, I'm sure that you've at least played this game once in your life. I play this game every time I go outside. When I walk in PNU, whenever I walk down the street, whenever I walk in neighborhoods or places that I go to, I always try to play a little mental game. I try to count how many of these Korean thugs I can see, because for some reason, it's their only dress code. It's the dress code that they live by, and it's so easy to peg them. Out of 100 people, I am sure I will be able to pinpoint where that Korean thug is. Now, a thuggish person is someone who acts like a thug, who acts like these very rude, very insolent, and very arrogant gangsters or thugs. So have you ever seen a thuggish person before? Most of the time, these youngsters who try to emulate or imitate these Korean thugs are quite thuggish. They are quite rude and thuggish. Remember that word. Now, moving on to unorthodox. Unorthodox is a word that I quite like because I consider myself as quite an unorthodox person, a person who does not follow the norm, who does not follow stereotypical pathways or strategies. And this can be said because I am a person who likes to help others, but I do not like to help them in a very stereotypical way. Most people ask them, what is your problem? And give you a step-by-step solution, right? Maybe the step-by-step solution is trying to get a hobby, listen to music, do the things you enjoy. But what I like to do is actually I like to tell those people with problems to just continue doing what you are doing. To just do. Do not try. Do not put your best effort in. Just do. So many people, of course, they might say that my methods are unorthodox. They might not agree, but sometimes it works. And a lot of people have said that my methods have helped them. So, unorthodox. Unorthodox is someone who can be considered as a person who does not follow the trend. Moving on to paranoid. Paranoid is a word that is quite negative. It is a word that is related to fear. Now, a lot of people sometimes have a lot of fear in their heart. Sometimes it's hard for them to trust people. It's hard for them to try and approach people. It's hard for them to even step outside sometimes. And this is called paranoia, or being paranoid. The fear of meeting people, the fear of trusting people, the fear of seeing something new or seeing something scary, things that go bump at night. I'm being very paranoid. I'm scared for my life. When is one instance where you have been paranoid? All right, moving on to the next word for today, which is snooze. Now, snooze, of course, I'm sure you've all tried to press the snooze button on your alarm many, many times, dozens of times, in fact. So snooze, actually, it means nap. So I'm going to take a little snooze. I'm going to take a little nap. And when is the greatest time to take a snooze? It's smack dab in the middle of the afternoon after a nice cold shower. Take a 10 to 20 minute break, and I'm sure it will rejuvenate you. Now, these words were all covered today, and I shall see you in the next video for more words and more meanings and more interesting anecdotes. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the next one.